Hi, in this demo, we're going to show how OPA can use um, AI services in OCI to analyze text. OCI has a dedicated service for analyzing text called OCI Language. In this demo, you'll see a number of different interactions from our process workflow to OCI Language to do a bunch of different things such as language detection, language translation, text classification, sentiment analysis, named entity recognition, and PII detection. Effectively, we're using most of the services within OCI Language as a demonstration as far as what can be achieved using process workflows and OCI Language together. The story that we're going to use to tell this AI demo will be based on a department store. So imagine that we are a large retail department store in Europe that works across multiple countries. So it's a multinational store. And our store, as most stores, have an online feedback section, right? So somewhere in our website, we have a web page where end users, our customers, can provide feedback. And what we're going to be doing is using this process to understand the feedback that is sent to us, to analyze the text in that feedback, to route it to the correct department based on what the text classification is. And once it's once we understand what the meaning of that text is, we can assign it to the corresponding department, and they can actually respond to the end user's feedback. We're also going to sprinkle a few other capabilities in here. So we're going to be driving the task priority based on the sentiment of the user. So if the user is not happy, our task priority will increase. We'll also be using things like PII to show how we can actually keep end user data safe, especially when they inadvertently put it into a feedback comment on a website. So let's tell this story. We're going to simulate two different feedback requests for our store. In the first request, we're going to take the text of the feedback of someone that has just been to a bookstore where they were looking for their favorite book, but it wasn't there. So they're submitting some feedback through the website to say, hey, I was at this particular store in Munich. I was looking for this book by Agatha Christie. It wasn't in stock. Can you please order it for me? And very intentionally in here, they're putting in their credit card number, which obviously we don't really want to expect, and we want to keep that safe. So I could copy this English version, but I want to show some of the capabilities of OCI Language. So instead, I'm actually going to use the Deutsch version instead. So let's go into our demo, and we're going to kick off a request in here for our department store, so a feedback form request. So here's my message. And as part of all feedback forms, normally I would communicate some type of alias through which the department store would communicate back to me, and I would communicate an email through which they can reach me. So in here, when I click post, we'll make a call to the first of these OCI services. In this particular case, it will be to detect the language that was actually written as part of it. So you can see in here, it's basically detecting that this is German. And so then I can actually submit my request, and that will go to my department store. So let's submit another request now. Still put in my email address. And this time we're going to take another scenario of a customer who wants to offer some prescription medicine. So again, it's a big department store. And in this particular scenario, imagine that we have a pharmacy or drug department. And so here the customer is saying, hey, my doctor's prescribed me some medicine that I can't get over the counter. to help with my nausea. Can you please order this medicine for me? And here is my Medicare number. So in this particular case, I've chosen to take the French version of this text rather than the English. And again, I'm going to submit my form in here, and this should detect that this is indeed actually in French, and my user can submit. Okay, so now both of these two requests will go through here. We will do some detection on the language. We'll work out that it's not English. We're actually going to translate it to English because English is the common language for the rest of our platform. And that's what all of the other service calls will be using. So once the text is translated, then we're going to analyze it to see which department it should be routed to. So if I go to tasks now and see my team's tasks, here you can see that I actually have two tasks, one for the pharmacy department and one for books. This routing actually becomes even more apparent if you go into tracking, because you can see that the assignee is actually the department name. So pharmacy department, books department. Okay, perfect. So text classification has worked out what the text is about and routed the task to the appropriate department. So now a whole bunch of other steps have happened, but let's have a look at what the department response would look like. So if I go back into my tasks, let's start off with the books task. Let's expand it. So you can see here that sentiment analysis has actually detected that this is a mostly positive comment about a user enjoying a book and wanting to order this book. And so sentiment has detected that this was positive, and the task priority has likewise adjusted to low. If sentiment was negative, the task priority would adjust to high. You can also see that you're seeing the translated version of this text. If you recall, I wrote this in German. My department store representative is saying this in English, and the PII data in here is masked. So you can see that the credit card number is masked. Also, the author's masked. And we can control some of this. But in this initial scenario, I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So any PII is masked here for the end users to protect our customers. You can see also, as a department store, I can't actually see the email address of the employee. The only thing I have to deal with is his alias. Okay, so let's say something like, thanks for contacting us. We have ordered your book and it should be in store on the 1st of November. Please pay when you come in. Okay, something like that. And then I'm just going to submit. So effectively, that's one correspondence done. And as part of that correspondence, if I share my just a different screen, you will see that the correspondence actually goes back to the requester in the original language. So that's effectively the comment that I just wrote here as the store. I wrote it in English, it got translated and sent back to the end user in German. So great. Now let's go into the next one. So now let's process the pharmacy request. So if you recall, this was our French end user, Amanda, who put in some details about the fact that she wanted some prescription. In fact, you can see it right here. It's actually been translated to English, right? And you can see here that we're actually masking her Medicare number. Okay, so this sentiment is neutral. The task priority as such is now medium. But here you can see our form's actually rendered. It's the same form, but it's rendered a different section. And basically what it's saying is, hey, our system has detected that this query is about healthcare, and that, the customer has asked for a prescription to be ordered. And it's asking, the department employee if they would like to go ahead and place this order. So through text analysis, it's actually worked out through named entity recognition that this name that I can't even pronounce is actually the prescription medicine. And it's put it in here as part of the order. The department person can change the quantity if they want to. It's also made an enrichment call to see what the price of this medicine is, and it's worked out that that's $56. And you can see here that it's also pulled out the Medicare card number from the original feedback comment. So again, through named entity recognition, it's derived the Medicare number. And this time PII, I've chosen not to mask the whole text, but to mask everything but the last 4 digits. So you can actually see the last 4 digits of the card here. And you can see that what the price will be after Medicare rebate. So if I click order, you can see that an order is now placed. That's my reference number for this. And I can put in some comment back to the user. Thanks, Amanda. Order has been placed. Please pick up tomorrow. Okay, and that's it. Again, if I click submit, that feedback request is completed. And if I go back to my email, there should be another email that arrives, this time in French. So what did we show in this quick little demo? We showed how we can use OCI language through OPA to detect a language, to translate that language, to classify that language, and route to a corresponding department based on the text classification. We've shown how we can drive anything in the process workflow based on sentiment. In this particular case, we chose to drive the priority of the task. And we've also shown how we can actually cater and keep customers' data safe through PII analysis. I hope you've enjoyed this demo. Thank you for watching.